The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer is now out with a new album titled Space Force, featuring collaborations with artists across genres and generations, including The Roots. He's also back on the road with a tribute tour celebrating the life and music of the great David Bowie. And Todd Rundgren joins us now. Todd, great to have you here with us. You know, I thought it was fascinating. Everybody knows you, thinks of you first and foremost as a great songwriter, a great performer. But I love what you said about this album, that you really were more like a curator and a producer. Explain that.
On my previous album, which was called White Knight, I decided I want to get actively collaborative with other artists because I've been living on the island of Kauai for 25 years now, something like that. And it's a little hard to call a session in the middle of the day. So I tended to make the records myself, and I'd be in an echo chamber and not getting a lot of input from other musicians. So I decided I would collaborate more, and White Knight was fairly aggressive in that regard, but I did most of the writing on it and the majority of the singing on it. And I thought, if you want to collaborate, you got to go all the way and give more control to the other artists. So I took a different approach on Space Force. I went to my collaborators. I said, you have something that you started but you couldn't finish. Idea that was kind of hot, and then it cooled off quick and you moved on to other things, and maybe it was a great idea, but it needed different ears on it to become completed. And that's principally what this record is. It's unfinished projects by other artists that I have sort of brought to completion and foisted on the audience at large.
Yeah, that is so cool. It reminds me of the legendary story of Jackson Browne and Take It Easy. He got the first verse, couldn't finish it up, and then Glenn Frey came along. But here, the people you're working with: The Roots, Weezer's Rivers Cuomo, Cheap Trick's Rick Nielsen, the Lemon Twigs, a lot of others. How did you pick who you worked with here, who you collaborated with?
Well, it was the initial process was like the first album. I asked somebody if they want to collaborate, and often it would be someone that I had never worked before with, but I would like to work with. For instance, Neil Finn from Crowded House, and most lately from Fleetwood Mac. I was always a big Crowded House fan, and I thought, I just read a news blurb. I saw, Neil Finn has joined Fleetwood Mac. And I thought, wow, I always liked Neil's stuff and his voice. Why don't I ask him if he's got something? And it turned out that he did. And that's the way it was with most of the artists. I either knew them before, or I was fascinated with their work and just made an inquiry out of the blue. And there are actually more inquiries than final products in that sense. In that there were some artists that I wanted to do something with who agreed to collaborate, like, for instance, Iggy Pop or Marilyn from Garbage. Shirley Manson. Why did I say? I was thinking the other Manson. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
And we just couldn't find, the thing that we were going to work on. So it's once you start the process, it's hard to figure out where the end of it is, because you can always think of someone that you'd like to work with, and if they're amenable, then I'm there for it.
So, Todd, Joe just mentioned Jackson Browne, Glenn Frey. And we played the clip, from Dumb and Dumber, your great stuff. But there was a period, arguably, I would say, from 1965 to 1985, was the greatest 2 decades in terms of American popular music. Would you agree with that?
Well, we certainly went through a lot of changes, not only in terms of musical genre, but the way the business was structured. Most people in the 60s and 70s and 80s found out about music by hearing it on the radio.
Yeah.
And in the 60s, through the 50s and 60s, radio was pretty much locally programmed. You know, you'd have a program director and he would say, well, we think our audience would like this. And the DJs had a lot of freedom in terms of what to do. And it was, to me, like the golden age of radio. Like right after they discovered the Beatles, and the Beatles started introducing all these new genres into music, classical rock and that sort of thing. So lots of artists were finding their way onto the radio that might not have been there before, solely through the largesse of the local program director. Then radio became syndicated, and every radio station in the country is playing the same songs. So music became more of a formula, especially to the people who were in the business of it. And by the time we got to the mid-'80s, there was a format change, a significant format change. It actually started with the Sony Walkman. It used to be when you bought an LP, you would go home, would put it on your turntable, and you would sit in the sweet spot and you'd listen to the whole thing, because that was a quality time music experience for you. Then the Sony Walkman came out, and you could listen to the music anywhere you went.
But the music itself, I mean, has there ever been, in your mind, you're a musician, obviously, a very popular one. Has there ever been a period of time where there was so many classic hits that will be played 20 years from now?
Well, if you want to go back to the 3 Bs, you know, Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, you know, that was a pretty interesting period of music as well. If you look at the greater arc of it, you know, my focus has never been strictly on what's happening now. There is so much that's already happened to be rediscovered. Music is a cyclic thing. There is only so many notes in the Western tonal scale that we can stand to listen to. And so eventually we're going to be repeating everything unless we find more creative ways to couch those musical ideas.